Hi guys, and welcome to another Top 5 Wednesday. Top 5 Wednesday was originally created by Lainey from gingerreadslainey and is now hosted by Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, and I will leave all the pertinent links down in the description as per usual. This week's topic is our favorite creepy settings, and I have to preface this by saying that I am not a horror fan at all. I can get creeped out by pretty much anything, so take this with a bit of a grain of salt. Like, I enjoy thrillers, but I'm not a horror person. And what makes a really effective creepy setting for me personally is one that takes the mundane and makes it creepy, or horror in the ordinary, so to speak. So these are settings that are your basic everyday mundane settings, just with a horror twist, basically. So let's get started. So fifth on my list is the great outdoors or nature. I'm specifically meaning things like The Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, or games like Don't Starve, or even Firewatch, which is not technically horror but has that really creepy atmosphere. And this is basically based on that feeling of isolation, that you are stranded somewhere huge and expansive and don't know how to get out, and you have to survive. And that is what makes that setting creepy to me, even though nature is pretty much all around us all the time, so it shouldn't feel that way ordinarily. Fourth on my list is Winter in the Nordics, or Kamos, as it is known in Finnish. And this is basically because of a movie called Frostbiten, which is a Swedish horror comedy that takes place in the Swedish Lapland and during the winter time, and it's a vampire story. And I hadn't ever thought of vampires as being really scary until I saw that movie, and even though that movie is very comedic at times, it's still kind of creepy to think about a setting where there's perpetual night, because in the Laplands in Norway, Sweden, Finland and Russia, there is a winter that lasts for months, like 4 months I think, and there's basically no sunlight at all. So think about a place where vampires can roam 24/7 basically without any worry. And yeah, that's a very creepy setting to me, and I actually really like that movie. It is very funny, so go check that out if you can. I think it has had an English subtitled release. And third on my list is Sona, which is basically on this list because of this one specific movie, which is set, I think, in the 18th century Finland, where two guys have escaped from the war front, and they come across this abandoned sauna in the middle of a swamp, and it turns out that it's haunted. And it was a very creepy movie, and I've heard many people say that it's kind of goofy and not a very good movie, but I don't care. I thought that movie was insane, and it was really scary, and I don't want to watch it ever again. But the premise is very intriguing, because it's, once again, it takes this very mundane, everyday aspect of life and turns it into something horrible. Like, saunas are supposed to be very relaxing and kind of a luxurious thing that you go in and enjoy yourself and have a good time, and then they make it into a horror movie setting. Like, how dare you? That's horrible, but it's still very ingenious. Number 2 on my list is Your Own Home. So pretty much when your own home becomes the enemy, so to speak, like in Paranormal Activity, for example, it takes place in the character's own home, and there's creepy things happening inside the house. And stuff like that. I think it is very effective when there's a kind of documentary aspect where they're following the person in their own natural habitat and then weird things start happening. I think that is very creepy and scary, and I kind of like that. And number one on my list is school. Basically because the Japanese have made this an art form about making really creepy stories that are set in schools. Think about, for example, Battle Royale, games like Danganronpa, and then there's this anime series called Another, which is basically a Final Destination type story that is also set in a school. And then there's Dusk Maiden of Amnesia, which takes place in a school, and it's about a girl that haunts the school because she was killed there. And that's just to name a few. And I think I might have a bit of a personal stake in this because school wasn't exactly a paradise for me when I was going through high school and elementary school and middle school. So there's that aspect to it as well. But I just think that because schools are supposed to be a safe place where you're studying and you're kind of protected by authority figures like teachers, it's not supposed to be a scary place. So when it's used to make a really creepy setting, it becomes even more scary because of that aspect, and I find it really intriguing. So yeah, those have been my favorite creepy settings. If you like this video, consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And please leave a comment and tell me your favorite creepy settings. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!